It's time now for our Entre Nous segment here on Paris Direct. Well, with its charming twin characters who dazzle with that famed je ne sais quoi, Les Demoiselles de Rochefort, that's the young girls of Rochefort, is the cult musical to come from France, and it's one of the best-loved classics of French cinema at large. Now, in it, two sisters pursue their dreams of finding success in music and perhaps more importantly, finding love in the French capital. But if I understand correctly, they never actually make it there. But on their journey, they encounter carnival workers, a sailor, a charming American composer, amongst other colorful characters. Now, musical theater artist Paul Amrani plays the charming American Andy, and he joins me now on set. Thank you so much for joining us, Paul.
Hi.
So if I understand, it was kind of by chance that you ended up in this role, so to speak. Tell us about that story.
Yes, it was completely by chance. So I was born in France. I was born in Marseille, but I've lived in the U.S. most of my life. So I was visiting my dad in Marseille in the south of France in between two musical theater contracts. And I remember that I had two friends who were working at the Lido Theater in Paris, David Uch and Jessica Aubry. They were doing Titanic there. And we'd known each other through social media, but had never met. So I grabbed coffee with them and they told me that they were casting for the next show. And then 30 seconds later, I was up in the offices at the Lido meeting all the producers, the artistic director. And they said, okay, can you do an audition on Sunday? This was a Thursday. I was like, no, I'm flying back to the US tonight. And they were like, okay, we'll do a Zoom audition. So they sent me all the material the next day. I didn't even know what character I was auditioning for by the time I left, and they sent me the material for Andy, and by Sunday morning, I did my Zoom audition, and they said, okay, you got the role. You're coming to France in the fall.
Sounds like you have good friends and ones that read the room very well. We're going to take a look at a clip of you in the role of Andy now.
Il a fallu enfin ce hasard étonnant pour transformer ma vie et lui donner un sens. Il a fallu que je revienne en France.
Now, Paul, critics have raved about your performance in general, but also your accent in French, which they have described as charming. I know you were born here in France, as you just said. Mm-hmm. So do you exaggerate it for the role, or is it authentic?
I do exaggerate it for the role, because I still do have an American accent when I speak in French, but I've added more of an accent for the role, which is really fascinating to play with every day.
It sounds like they love it. Now, you play the role of Andy, who, of course, was once played by the illustrious Gene Kelly. How do you fill such footsteps and make this role your own, especially on stage?
It's such huge shoes to fill because Gene Kelly, there are no other dancers like him. And something that was really important to me was to honor his legacy, but to not try and recreate it, because no one can recreate that. No one can be him. So I really haven't watched the movie since before my audition. I wasn't trying to get in my head about trying to be him, so I just tried to bring as much of myself to the role, but people have really resonated, and I think because there's so much of him in the DNA of the role, they feel like they see him, which is really cool.
Now, you love this movie. You've described it as one of your favorites. You typically watch it 3 times a year, which, of course, I imagine you're not doing prior to performing in it. But what is it, in your view, about Les Demoiselles de Rochefort that captivates audiences both in France and elsewhere?
It's the joy, I think. I think for French audiences right now, they're responding to it because there's so much joy. They get to go in and have a good time seeing the show. For American audiences, they get this slice of life to see French culture, to see this French family that's existing and see the slower pace of French life, perhaps. And I think that's what resonates with audiences.
Now, what do you think is unique about this production put on by Le Lido? I mean, I understand it's the first time it's being done on stage outside of the kind of film format that it was originally done in. How does this version then compensate for such different surroundings?
So I think one of the beauties of being able to do the show at the Lido is that we have such an incredible space where they're able to use all the entrances and exits. It kind of feels like you're being ushered into the world of Rochefort. There is a transponder bridge that the festival carnies come in on at the beginning of the show. They're really taking you into the world. There's a bar that comes up and down from the ground. We have all these tech elements that we're able to have because of the Lido. than the space because it used to be a cabaret. And so we're really lucky to have all of those different spaces to play with.
We'll keep the preview there then, Paul Amrani. That is all we have time for, but I want to allow our audience members who may be in Paris to see the show for themselves. And as a reminder to our viewers, it'll be on at the Théâtre Lido here in Paris until June of next year. So do check it out if you get a chance. Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.